Ladies and gentlemen, there is something going on in the air, in my opinion. I don't know if it's just me or if it's everybody, but I do believe the gospel is being spread, weirdly enough. In America, of all places, I came across something very interesting that took my attention. A movement, something that started in a college campus, has turned into a big movement called Unite Us. 10,000 college students apparently turned up at this event and there was worshiping going on. The language that is being used is what is intriguing me a lot, because you're hearing things like to enjoy the gospel or to hear the gospel. I'm not gonna lie, this is absolutely getting me excited. I'm thinking to myself, are we experiencing the fulfillment? I don't have any other words. I have to say fulfillment of, and the gospel shall be spread throughout all the earth, then the end shall come. Because you have to admit, if you look at especially the celebrities in the media that are taken to Christianity, plus that this event, plus if you remember a couple of months ago, so we had stories about people getting baptized in droves and stuff like that. What's going on? What is going on? I think this is something to be excited about. Again, there's always the question of doctrine, but I think I'm gonna slow down from that a little bit, because I don't want to find myself in a position where I'm just like, oh yeah, but they're not believing the truth, because I don't know that. So from what you shall know them by their fruits. I was watching this video and literally a hall full of excitingly like students. So we're talking about young ages. So we're talking about, I don't know, 17, 18, 19, 20, that kind of ages, excited for the gospel, for Jesus, you know, some of them being baptized. I don't know, Chin. This is making me smile.
I mean, it's good. It's definitely good.
Okay, I don't like how that started. I don't like how that started.
It's definitely good to see that. But your question was, is this the fulfillment of the gospel shall be preached to the end of the world and then the end shall come? I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, one could argue that that verse has been alive since it was spoken. So the gospel has always been spreading. Fair enough. But if we're talking in the context of end time events, as in the end time, I don't think so. I think there is a Christian revival going on at the moment.
What do you think is the cause of this revival?
It's a pushback of the nonsense that's happening in the world. So it's because there's so much evil and agendas and stuff that have risen to prominence in the world, that the counter is now starting to flourish. It's a yin and yang, isn't it? There's always going to be a push and pull.
Someone can argue that, for example, I'm thinking of a particular verse, but it's escaping me. But highly paraphrase, because there's so much evil happening. It's like the light is now shining brighter in the darkness of that evilness. So and not only is it shining, but it's now also growing attraction. So the reason I'm saying that, couldn't you argue that wouldn't therefore mean that you have to believe that there's something going on in connection to end time events? Because okay, I can agree that obviously if we look at historically, there's always been phases where things have to that kind of thing, you know, but obviously even that will come to an end. So in our language, is that not our times kind of like increase in faith, in spirituality, in Christianity, despite the evilness that's going on, which we can then connect to a potential fulfillment of end time prophecy?
I mean, I don't think it's despite. I think it's because of. So the evilness and everything that's happening, I don't think that's aside from the fact. I think it is precisely because of that people are searching for something. They're searching for meaning, because people are seeing the way the world is going and they're thinking, this can't be it. And people are I mean, a large majority of people, because this is the thing, because we were talking in the office the other day, and you would think that the majority of the world is on board with, like, let's say the leftist agenda and the LGBT, you know, like the extreme side of things, the way they're moving. You would think everybody supports it, the way they communicate it, the way we see it. But no, a lot of people are like, this is ridiculous. Like, it's gone too far. But then I think someone made the point that Christians have been passive for too long. They've been quiet for too long. In fact, isn't this a point you were always making?
See, I was saying,
you always say that
we need to be enraged, not gather anything and that. Although that is a good way of doing it.
We don't need to be enraged.
We need to go through.
We don't need to be enraged, but Christians needed to speak up. They needed to reply. And I think for a long time we're like, Christianity being a peaceful religion, we're like, you know what? God will deal with it. But then I think it's got to a point where when it started poisoning the children and the offspring and stuff like that, some parents and even children themselves are like, I'm not sure about this. So there is a revival in both Christianity, but also even in right-wing thinking. There's a revival in right-wing thinking. For a while in the middle there, everyone you meet was pretty much left-leaning. But now you meet people, no, I still believe in the family. I believe in tradition. I believe in the roles of man and woman. I believe that there's a structure to this world, and that's the way I want to live my life. Like there's an increase in that. So it's almost I'm not taking away from how good it is to see this. I think it is good. I don't think it's a fulfillment of and the gospel shall be preached to the end of the world. So
just a few points of discussion there before we wrap this up. I'll start with that last bit. How do you think that bit is going to be fulfilled? Because end time prophecy is not something that, at the moment, I think anyway, the world is really focusing on. I think, like you've just said, right now it's about revival, spirituality, faith, belief. I think we have sort of like shut things that are happening out there, and then we're just focusing on us, which is fine. I think that's a great starting place, because what you find that if you wear the armor of, like Thessalonians talks about armor of faith and breastplate of that, then the external forces can't touch you. So that's always a good point to focus. But obviously there is still the aspect of the Bible, or let me say of the gospel, that talks about end times and whatnot. So in regards to that section, what do you think is what in your mind, what is the fulfillment of that going to look like? Because the thing is that
I don't know. No, I mean,
because it's a big thing, to be honest with you, saying that, and the gospel shall spread throughout all the world. Then shall come. Like, what does that look like?
Well, I can't answer how it looks like, but I think obviously if we're diving into the Bible, then I would look at the events that I guess the end time events, the things that the Bible says must happen before the end comes, because you know how Christians,
one of them being the gospel spreading, which is what we're discussing.
100%. But you know how in Matthew and yellow Christians say, oh, when we see famines and wars and rumors of war, the end has come. But that's not what Matthew 24 says. Matthew says,
you better recite it.
No.
You set yourself up. That's not what Matthew says.
No, it's not what Matthew says.
You're sounding like these Sunday preachers now.
No, in essence, again, paraphrase, but it says these things shall happen, but the end is not yet.
Not yet. That is
right.
True.
So it's telling you that these things are happening, but don't be alarmed because the end is not yet. And right now, 100%, I can definitely say that we are seeing strange flooding in places, strange weather patterns, wars and rumors of wars. I can say, I can definitely see that. But I have peace in my heart because the Bible tells me, but the end is not yet.
You have peace in your heart?
I have peace in my heart. I'm still waiting for the revealing of the lawless man. I'm waiting for the desecration.
There was a firework that was set off behind my house the other day. I thought that was like the I don't know, the first star coming to smash the first earth.
But the
first earth. I meant a third of the earth.
I was thinking, I was listening to something completely unrelated, but I heard something that rocked me a little bit. It not rocked me, but I was like, oh, could it be? No, I was like, could it be? And it's about the mark of the beast. Because there's this idea, I think people are proposing, it's like a central banking system. It's like digital money, basically, where everybody holds their money with the Central Bank of England. So like how now we have banks with NatWest, HSBC, whatever. Everybody is gonna have money with the central bank, and obviously they're gonna have all your details and everything. And literally, if you say something that they disagree with, they could literally just block your money like that. And you literally have to be in line with the government,
they say,
because if you step out of line,
your money is blocked.
Then you're literally like that.
You go to bed a millionaire, wake up, you're broke.
Literally. And it's
food.
like, you cannot buy or sell unless you...
Oh, dear. Sounding like SDS now.
No, but to be honest,
someone sneezes in Africa.
To be honest with you, I don't want to go into the conversation of Mark and the Beast and everything. It's a big one, but I think it will be, besides the spiritual side of things, where obviously it's gonna have to do with spiritual things in a big factor. But I think it could be something as simple as, I don't know, it's something. I think something that's gonna look benign, something that people are gonna be like, yeah, well, but what's wrong with that? I
think people disregard, or they don't understand the importance of everyday things, right? If you go back to the time when the devil tested Christ, you see, of the 4 or 5 things that he mentioned, all of them were physical things, except for, was it, if you curse God, bow down and worship me, and if you look at that, for example, let's talk about the bread. Turn this stone into bread and eat. Are you not the Son of God? I don't think people that have been hungry, people that have starved, will appreciate like what you have spoken about, the importance of sticking in line with what the central bank is saying in this theory we are talking about, in order for you to access your money, in order for you to eat. Because all you need to do is, trust me, go hungry 2 days in a week, like just 2 days. You are ready to give up anything, everything. that guy that sold his birthright, that guy, you've got to throw him some rope, guys, okay? Because those of you that fast, and you understand what I'm saying. But fasting, you get a bit of strength because you're withholding, and there's food to come. Imagine that feeling of hunger when you're fasting and you don't know where the next meal is gonna come from, and then someone is coming. Listen, all you heard to say is, A, B, C, D against God, and this food is yours.
It's tempting. No, right. 100%.
I want to flip this then, just before we finish. Another passage that came into my mind was Daniel. Flatterers joined when something flatterers joined, and the church grew, not because of sincerity and belief and faith, but because, in paraphrase, it had become easy to be a Christian. Could that be what is happening now? Is that something we can consider? Again, this is not to speak to people that are believing, professing their faith or anything, that we're just having a general conversation about things. We are not judges or executioners or anything like that. But that is something in the scripture that we are observing, that, when the persecution ended, flatterers joined the movement, and now suddenly, big numbers, big people, it's everywhere, in the radio, in the newspaper, 10,000 people are meeting, singing and praising, but not because they truly believe. It's because, that's fun now.
Could
that be potentially what's happening?
Could it be? Now? Yes.
Is it?
Is it? I think I would need to know a lot more for me to even make a judgment on that. However, I will say, though, since the inception of Christianity, there's always been flatterers. Because even in the days of the apostles, when the movement started taking off, of course, you had some that were joining because everyone also was nice. Remember those ones? So you had some that
teaching is hard. How can we eat him?
Oh yeah.
One day thinking about bread.
That one was a point of understanding. But in the time of the apostles, you had some that were joining because it was profitable, even. Because remember, in the New Testament, the apostles spoke about how people are preaching for profit and stuff like that. So flatterers have always been part of Christianity. That's not a new thing. And I think anywhere where you have genuine revival, you always have some people who've just skated in. Some of them by accident.
Riding the emotional wave.
Yeah, some of them by accident, and maybe they'll believe later on. Some of them are just like, listen, it's something to do on a Thursday night.
My wife is there. I want to keep an eye on my wife, so I'm just going to go.
Yeah. So it's one of those things that I don't think we should concern ourselves with. I think
high.
Let's be concerned with the believers, the message of God, and those that are sincere, because there will always be flatterers.
In any case, ladies and gentlemen, I have no idea what is going on, but I would say it's a good time to be a Christian.
It's a
good time to be a Christian in the Western world and in America. Seems like people are having fun there, so let's go out and express.
It's always a good time to be a Christian. I don't know if it's
not if you are in Gaza Oh,
If one would argue, that's the best time to be a Christian.
right. Okay.
You
So
receive your reward.
you cannot join Chin on your regards. Go have a good time.